Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're taking a look at the new Camp Cretaceous Soundstrike Parasaurolophus. This figure is a slight retool of the dual attack Parasaurolophus that we got way back in the beginning of 2019. Now, at the time of this review, this figure has not been found in the US yet. I ended up ordering the whole wave, which consists of the Irritator and Majungasaurus from Amazon Japan. Came to about $77 shipped, or just over $25 a figure. I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to order this whole wave from Amazon Japan. But hopefully this wave, along with Wave 3 of the Savage Strike, show up in the US soon. Actually, Wave 3, some of the figures in Wave 3 actually showed up on Amazon the other day. So that is a good sign that these figures are coming to the US soon. And on top of that, Target is doing a major reset right now, and they're giving a lot more shelf space to Jurassic World. So I'm just assuming it's a matter of time before these figures show up in the US. So let's go over the packaging really quick before we crack this figure open. It comes in the new Camp Cretaceous style packaging. You got the Camp Cretaceous logo in Japanese up here in the corner. Actually, I think someone told me the translation means survival camp in Japanese. Right here we got the Primal Attack logo, a picture of how the Soundstrike action works. Some of the kids with Toro, the Carnotaurus, on the bottom right here, and this character right here, Darius, is the only name of the human characters that we know so far. And turn around on the side, you got more pictures of the human characters along with Bumpy the baby Ankylosaurus. And turning around the back, you get a nice full art picture of the Parasaurolophus in action. You get the little Camp Cretaceous sticker book in the corner right here, and then in the bottom right hand corner you have a picture of the other figures in this wave, the Irritator and Majungasaurus. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. And here is the Parasaurolophus out of the packaging. It's nice that Mattel re-released this Parasaurolophus with a slightly different color scheme. The original Dino Rivals version is going for big bucks on eBay, so this one would be a much more cost-effective way of adding the species to your collection. So let's just do a couple quick measurements before we take a closer look at this figure. This figure is just about 12 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the beak, and about 4.5 inches tall to the top of the crest right there. So Parasaurolophus in real life was about 31 feet long. So with those measurements, that put this figure somewhere in that 1/30ish scale range. Now I'm going to take out the Dino Rivals Parasaurolophus so you can see the difference in color scheme between these two figures. The new Camp Cretaceous one has a metallic pink coloration on there, and I'm not too crazy about that metallic look. It just kind of looks off on a dinosaur, but the color scheme is kind of reminiscent of the Dino Rivals one. They are both molded in that yellowish plastic, and then you got almost the same markings, maybe just a little bit different, a little bit more splotchy along the back and legs right here. And then the crest is done in a brown color, similar to the brown on the original one, but you got some of that metallic pink. You got some maroon markings on the neck right here and some maroon stripes along the back with a hefty coat of that metallic pink. And one of the other differences I noticed on the original, the toe claws are painted in. On this one, they aren't, for whatever reason. It's been kind of a trend lately. Usually the larger figures do get their toe claws painted, and I've noticed Mattel has been kind of hit or miss lately with these new Primal Attack figures, giving the toes some paint apps. And when they do now, they've been just painting just the top and the bottom of them are not painted in. Some of the figures in the past have had the bottoms painted in. I just don't know why they decided not to paint the claws in on this Parasaurolophus. I think one more paint app wouldn't have hurt. And the other difference between these two figures is, like I said, this is a slight retool. On the back of this one right here, you can see the buttons for the dual attack feature. They are not on this figure. Other than that, the articulation is exactly the same between both figures. Obviously, this one's slightly different because it has that new Soundstrike action. All right, so let's zoom in and take a closer look at this figure. The head sculpt on this figure is pretty good. You actually got some teeth sculpted in there. There's no paint detail in the mouth. It'll probably be pretty hard since the mouth is barely open. The eye is done with black, and another thing I've been criticizing Mattel about, some of their newer figures, they're just painting the eye in one color, and then the pupil color is just the base plastic underneath. Some figures, they actually are painting the pupil in. On this one and on the old dual attack Parasaurolophus, they did not paint the pupil in. I kind of just wish they would give it some color. Just kind of looks a little lifeless with just that yellow plastic showing through for the pupil. Right here, turn the figure over, you can see some of that nice metallic pink along the crest right here. I actually like that. It adds a nice contrast to that brown. You got that maroon marking down the neck right here. And you have more of that metallic paint with some nice scale and texture and detail along this figure. And then flipping the figure over, you can see it does have some paint apps on the stomach. They gave it some nice white coloration. And since we got the figure turned over, here is the scan code. Right now, the Camp Cretaceous figures are not scanning into the app. Hopefully, when they update it, probably sometime in August before the show is supposed to come out. Really, we haven't heard too much about it lately. This figure should scan in then when they finally update the app. And then going down to the legs, you can see some more of that maroon coloration and that metallic pink. And unlike the Dino Rivals version, there is no paint apps along the tail. So all in all, it's a pretty good repaint. It's very similar to the original version, so this would be a fine addition, especially if you don't have the original in your collection. Moving on to articulation, this figure has the same exact articulation like its Dino Rivals counterpart. The head is on a ball joint, which allows you to rotate it from side to side, and it can look down a little bit and look up a little bit, and then the arms can move forwards and backwards about that far. It hits the chest right here, but they're also on a hinge. And then going down to the hind legs have a ratchet joint, which allows them to click into their neutral position. And they also have that hip swivel to help with stability. This figure is very stable because it is on all fours. And that is it for articulation. The rest of it is tied to its action feature. Moving on to its action feature, it works the same just like all the other sound strikes. Everything is controlled by the tail right here. By rotating the tail, you will cause the head to move up and down and side to side and activate its electronic roars. It's nice we actually got a herbivore sound. Now that honking sound sounds familiar. I might have heard it on another herbivore. Please let me know in the comments if that sound sounds familiar. Thankfully, they gave us some herbivore sounds. My biggest critique about the Edmontosaurus was it had all carnivore sounds. So those herbivore sounds are very welcome. We do have some carnivore sounds mixed in. And there's your carnivore sound. But all in all, I am very happy with the sound choices on this figure. All right, let's move on with some comparisons. Here it is with the little mini bumpy figure that comes with the Camp Adventure set. And here it is with our first Camp Cretaceous human figure. Here it is with Darius. And then here it is with the new Savage Strike Scutosaurus. And here it is with the Massive Biters Seats. And here it is with the other Hadrosaur that we have in the Jurassic World line, the Edmontosaurus. So now that we have two Hadrosaur body molds, I would love if Mattel would give us more species of Hadrosaurs. Just reuse the bodies and just give us new head sculpts. You could do Lambeosaurus, Corythosaurus, I'm drawing a blank right here, Saurolophus. Just give it, there's so many species of Hadrosaurs. They can just go wild with these two body molds. The Edmontosaurus is probably my least favorite body mold because, you know, I really did not like the way the feet came out. But then again, on the Parasaurolophus, we do have some very theropod-looking hind feet, but they're just not as bad looking as the hind feet on the Edmontosaurus. Like I said, I would just love for more Hadrosaur species. Mattel, you got the tools. Just sculpt some new heads, and we're in business. And lastly, here it is with its Wavemates, the awesome Majungasaurus and the weird-looking Irritator. So this is a pretty good wave. We got three great figures, even though one of them is a repaint. It's a very desired species for people to add to their collection because, like I said, the original Dino Rivals is going for like about $100 on eBay as of right now. So this is a very easy way to get this species into your collection once you get your hands on it. So now that I have all three figures from this wave out, let's rank them. My absolute favorite one, I've been saying it, you know, since I reviewed it, is this Majungasaurus. I think this is one of the best figures Mattel has done so far. I love the proportions on it, the sculpt and detail, all around a fantastic figure. My number two choice is the Irritator. It's weird and wacky looking, and it's definitely a really cool figure. And obviously the last choice, not saying it's a bad figure, it's still a great figure, is this Parasaurolophus. So all in all, an absolutely fantastic wave. So, final thoughts on this figure. This is a pretty good repaint. My biggest gripe is, the lack of paint on the toe claws, because the original version had it. And I'm not a huge fan of this metallic pink. It just kind of, metallic colors kind of just look off on dinosaur figures. But other than that, it's a really nicely sculpted figure. I was a big fan of the original Dino Rivals version, and I'm happy to add this one to my collection. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to get their hands on this who missed out on the original version. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I ordered this whole wave from Amazon Japan. Link is in the description if you want to order that whole wave for yourself. This figure is also being found in Europe and Australia, and hopefully this figure will show up in the US soon, especially with Target giving the Jurassic World section a lot of love lately with that new reset they just did. So that will do it for the review. I still have the new Savage Strike Pachycephalosaurus I need to review, and I'm still on the hunt for that Escape from Nublar set. My Target's supposed to be putting them out on Monday, so wish me luck, and I wish all you luck still trying to track down those new sets. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys for the next one.